stood at the edge looking down into the raging water below, and I was presented with a Shakespearean dilemma. To jump or not to jump? That is the question. As I stood there pondering the question, the irony of this dilemma wasn't lost on me, because I had just asked myself a very similar question as it related to my marriage. You see, a few months prior to Costa Rica, I was faced with the question, to jump or not to jump out of my marriage. Now, when I say jump, let's just be clear about what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the D word, divorce. I was struggling with the question, to divorce or not to divorce. Even thinking of the question was terrifying. Even having the thought put me in a state of disbelief and absolute fear. I never thought that I would contemplate it. Better yet, I never thought that I would even do it, but now I'm at the edge of considering it. And I knew if I were to do it, it would cost me everything. It would mean acknowledging myself in many ways as a failure. It would mean the sacrifice and death of the persona of Devon Franklin. The persona that millions of people around the world had come to know and love. These dating streets are ugly. I got on one dating app, I said, Lord, bless my swipe, bless my swipe. I got on another one, I said, Jesus, take the app, hey, please help me. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there are more than 133.5 million people in the U.S. who identify as single. And now they could add one more to the tally. Now, I wasn't looking for marriage. I was just looking to explore and just have a good time and enjoy myself. And someone said, Devon, be careful, because these dating streets are ugly. I said, ugly? They said, ugly. They said, I don't know what you're going to do, brother. I said, me neither. But I got Jesus, a therapist, and unlimited data. So we're going to figure it out. Now, listen, y'all, I had not dated in 10 years, okay? So admittedly, I was a little rusty. So the first dating situation out of the gate, this is a true story, I got ghost fished. I was ghosted and catfished at the same time. I was talking to a woman on Snapchat for 4 or 5 months that I never saw. And then I realized, wait a minute, I haven't seen you. She didn't want to be seen. So, okay, I had to move on. All right, let me move on. Let me keep going. The thirst trap is basically a scantily clad or suggested picture someone posts with the intention of attracting attention from the opposite sex or the same sex, depending on what they're into. Now, here's the thing. This was the same thirst trap that trapped my thirst. So I was highly aware of what the trap was because it was a very effective trapper of thirst. So I said to her, I said, hey, obviously it's your page. I just have a question. Can I ask a question? That picture that you have pinned, top row, center slot, would you say that's a thirst trap? And she laughs and she says, well, yeah, it's a little thirst trappy. I said, well, you've already trapped my thirst. Are you still thirsty? Oh man, she went quiet. Like iPhone on do not disturb quiet. I just found it very interesting that I'm out here decluttering my DMs like a good boy per her request. And meanwhile, she's got the storefront looking like buy one, slide in free. Okay, but you know how it goes in dating, right? We see a red flag, and instead of acknowledging that it's red, we squint real hard and say, that's not red, that's burgundy. And I love me some burgundy. I stood at the edge looking down into the raging water below, and I was presented with a Shakespearean dilemma. Stood at the edge looking down.
Okay, y'all been asking about me doing the whole Devon Franklin video. I'm not gonna lie, that was funny. What he said, that was funny and true of what he was saying. But in my opinion, the only thirsty person is Devon Franklin. Okay, you, sir, bringing up Meagan Good, you're thirsty because see, you're not getting the attention and the clicks you used to get when you was with her. Now, cousins, if y'all been with me for a while, there's some of you that's been with me from the beginning, and I told y'all Devon Franklin and Meagan Good was not going to work out. And a lot of people hate on me, unsubscribe from my channel, call me a hater, pray for them. You should be praying for them. We want people to be happy. And that scripture in the Bible that said no man can bless what God has cursed is true. Okay. There's a whole lot of y'all praying for people's marriage to work out. It's not going to work out. I'm not praying for anybody's marriage not to work out. I just know it ain't going to work. I knew Devon Franklin and Meagan Good marriage was not going to work from the beginning. I know, like Tara's and Ashley Pickmisha marriage is not going to work out. Though Ashley Pickmisha, she might stick it through trying to prove us wrong. I know Wolfish She's Clothing, Jamal Bryant, and Church Ho, Carrie Bryant marriage is not going to work out. Though she's going to stick it through just to try to prove us wrong. But I told y'all from the beginning that Meagan and Devon Franklin marriage was not going to work out. Their marriage was not destined by God, and their marriage was not blessed by God. And I'm going to tell you why. I have a problem with bringing her up. I want to thank you for your love and support. Be sure to subscribe if you are new here. I'm Janice, cousin Janice. Thank you so much for your love and your subscribing. Thank you for leaving a comment for me. I have been busy the last couple of weeks. My baby's birthday party was last Saturday, And then yesterday we had one of my unit members, her baby shower, and I am just exhausted. I'm ran over raggedy. I thank God for my wonderful husband that did a lot of the running around for me, picking up the salad and the fried fish and the chicken, and just picked up a lot of stuff for me because he works from home, so he has a little bit more time. So that's why I've been MIA for the last couple of days. I'm just exhausted, but I wanted to get on today and talk about Mr. Thirst Trap, Devon Franklin. Tonight is the last night for Is He a Wolf in Sheep's Clothing or a Shepherd? If you missed the class, the ebook will be available. I suggest you get the ebook today. Today's the last day. It will be of the price that it is. I don't even remember what the price is. My V set the price. And then it goes up tomorrow. And some of you are asking, will I be doing a free class of 101 things? I am not buying, and I thought about it, and I've decided that depending on how many people pick up the ebook, that will determine if I will do a free class. Okay. So that's a little bit of house cleaning for you. So we got Devon Franklin with his thirsty self talking about contemplating his marriage. You should be, let me not say he should be lucky Meagan Good took pity on him. So why did I say Devon and Meagan wasn't going to work out? If you know the story, Meagan said, this is after she was in an abusive relationship, getting her head put through the toilet and whatever. And she saw this very nice, clean, allegedly church man. And she said, oh, God told me you's my husband. And Devon said, no, he didn't. You're not even saved. You smoke, you drink, you're an actress, you cuss. You are everything I do not want in a wife. This is what Devon Franklin said. Okay? Meagan Good ran him down. God said you're my wife. God said you're my husband. God said you're my husband. God said you're my husband. He went and prayed about it. I don't know why you need to pray about it, sir. By your own confession, she wasn't a woman of faith. She wasn't saved. And then he said, God said, I'm going to give you everything you don't want in a wife. Now, my little boy just turned 11, and he know that's not scriptural. That ain't Bible, because the Bible said all good and perfect gifts come from God. God says that I will give you the desires of your heart. God says, husband, love your wives like Christ loved the church. So, dear Mr. Thirst Trap, how is God going to give you everything you don't want in a wife when God says, do not marry the unbeliever? Do not be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. What darkness have with light, and what light have with darkness? How can two walk together unless they agree? So we know he was lying. And she was lying. And so they were, the only surprise is I was just surprised the marriage lasted that long. Now, when it comes to kids, he wanted kids. She didn't want to have kids. Why would you marry a woman? Why would God give you a woman who don't want to have children, Devon? Huh? Why? And so they were on, whose show was it? Was it Oprah? There was on somebody's show, and they was talking about kids. And she was like, I don't like kids. And he want to have kids. And he said, I just have to allow her to go through the process and let her work out whatever she needs to work out so that we can have children. She don't want to have kids. You want to have kids. Why would you marry her? Why would God give you a wife who you don't want to have kids? Who don't want to have kids, but you want to have kids? I'm confused, sir. Okay. So that's how I knew the marriage wasn't going to work out. It wasn't destined by God. And you know how I feel A mate is a choice. You choose that person. You don't sit and wait for God to tell you the mailman is your marriage. Because first of all, I don't even like mailmans, okay? I like CEOs, CFOs, presidents of companies, executives. Those are my type, okay? So now you want to talk about thirst trap. You knew who Meagan Good was before you married her. You knew that wasn't your wife. You knew she was everything you did not want in a wife. So why would you marry her? No, you're going to talk about if she continued to post pictures and it's a thirst trap. You married a thirst trap. And oh, by the way, let's look at your new wife's page, because I had to go over there today and look at her page. What's her name? Maria Castillo. Looking at like, I know this niglet is not talking about a thirst trap. I know you're not talking about Meagan Good as a thirst trap. Look at his new wife's page. I don't think this one is gonna work out either. Look at this. Thirst trap. At least Meagan had on a whole dress. Meagan had on a whole dress. Look at this. Thirst trap. At least some of Meagan Good clothes pictures, she had clothes on. And yeah, you're supposed to be a trainer and all of this. She's supposed to be a trainer. Who is more thirst trappy, Devon? Anyways, child, let me go take my nap. I gotta go take my nap, child. I just, you know me, I can't be bothered with the foolishness. The only thirst trap that's going on is Devon thirsting. You're thirsty for some attention, somebody to buy, maybe about to come out with a book. Somebody, you thirsty for somebody to watch this crappy video. You ever talk about thirst trap? Sit your ass down, excuse my language. And just looking at him, I know Meagan Good is shaking her head, thinking, I cannot believe I allowed that little Teletubby man to do me in like that. Lord, because you know the man, everybody's getting older. And if you don't keep yourself together, you start looking like a Teletubby. And Devon Franklin is looking like a Teletubby. But anyways, I got to go. I love y'all. It's 11:30 a.m. I'm about to go take a nap. I'm tired. I've been up since about 4, reading, writing, working on my ebook. I'm just exhausted. But I love you. Comment below. Let me know what you think about what I said. And do you agree that Devon Franklin is the only thirst trap right about now? Subscribe, thumbs up. Last class is tonight. The link is below if you want to still sign up. Talk to you later. Bye.